Okay, everybody, so there are official and unofficial reasons that I'm letting go of my PhD. In fact, that I am quitting. And I want to talk about quitting, and I am looking in the wrong direction again. So I'm gonna look over here. Okay, so quitting is not a bad thing, all right? The reason that quitters are quitting is looked down upon by certain people is because quitting is freedom, all right? It is the ability to know when something is no longer working and to be able to walk away from it when the problem is unsolvable. And that is not a negative thing, except for the person who's profiting off of the labor of the person who's quitting. Then it's a negative thing, right? So let's talk about quitting academia. Who profits from the students' labor? Many, right? The university system. The university system itself, all right, has turned education into a for-profit business. Yeah. And we know what happens when we take institutions, if we take practices that are about human well-being and that are very natural to us, such as education. It's like they're monkeys educate each other, okay? Like, honestly, it's human. And if we put a profit motive at any point along the way, things go wrong. Right? I mean, this is obvious. So we've done it with power, we've done it with education, and we've done it with religion, and what else have we done it with? That's natural and human. Food, land, places to be, you know, like basically the whole concept of profit and ownership is really at the base of why I'm quitting, because I will not be controlled. And I like to learn for my own purposes. And when I'm directed to do something in a specific, overly specific way, where I'm not allowed to have total creative freedom with my intellect, I feel trapped, I feel imprisoned, and I can no longer stand it. It is really hard on me. And as a child, I really didn't have a choice, right? And as a neurodiverse person, I want to complete everything to completion, all right? And a PhD is the completion of my school journey, except I had to really think about it because it was hurting me psychologically to be under deadlines constantly, under and I had a really gentle experience, but under the pressure to produce. And because there's a pressure to produce, I can't produce. It's just part of who I am. And when I had the opportunity to take a break and stop everything during the pandemic and just pause, and I became the homeschooling mother teacher for my children, and I really implemented what I believe in with my kids. And I realized that there's no reason not to, really, right? So because I stepped foot onto the wheel of education at 6 years old, I remember feeling at 6 years old that a lot of my time was eaten up by school. I was not a kid who needed somebody to tell me what to do. I was able to occupy myself. I had a really rich inner life already. I already knew how to read. I went to learn French. I thought it would take a couple months. It took years. You know, school is not what I was expecting, but I was too young to quit. Like, I just couldn't just put my foot down and say no. Although some autistic, pathological demand avoidance profile, autistic or ADHD people do quit school. Like, they just like, that's it, I'm not going. I almost did. In high school, I barely made it through. My grades were fine. I just couldn't stand going to a place every day and having to just like pause what I was thinking about to open my mind to like more info, which I heard before and I've processed and I don't care, you know? So I have a fundamental problem with school. And I thought through my PhD that I could somehow get my way through it and change the system somehow, or at least change a few minds along the way, and remind people that we don't actually need school. We need relationships. Children learn through their relationships and their experiences. So we don't need a curriculum, and we don't need, sure, we could have a school building, but that's for childcare. That's to keep everybody who's too young to be on their own for real, like under some kind of supervision, right? What goes on inside the relationships is what's important. Anyway. Then I thought, okay, I can, in my PhD journey, I can relationship my way through it. And at some point I realized that even though I was open to genuine friendship, the others around me were not, because they were and are in their roles. And their roles as educators and mentors prevent them from feeling or seeing that they are on an equal footing with the student, and that there's much to learn both ways. It started to feel like I was writing papers to the thin air. I felt no one wanted what I had to give. And what I have to give is very precious. So I'm taking it back. Maybe I'm not correct in my judgment, but I know that my action will be healthy for me. Sometimes quitting or letting go of something is absolutely the correct thing to do, especially if it's something you've given a lot of thought to. Even if you haven't given it thought, that gut feeling that says, this isn't going to work, always listen to it. The only times I've not listened to my gut, I've ended up spending years longer in a situation than I needed to. Well, that's only happened twice. And it's over now. So I'm going to call myself PhD free, because that's better than quitting. Quitting sounds bad, right? PhD free is my choice. Bye, guys.